Hey, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. This is Nishanta, and the podcast is Lead in Love. So, it is truly my prayer for you that you lead the life that you want to live and you love yourself in the process. Okay, workaholic, this message is for you. But on today, it just came to me that I wanted to talk to you guys about celebrating your accomplishments. So, see, for a workaholic like me, I have a very, very strong tendency to write down my goals, complete the goal, and then move on to the next one before I fully appreciate it and said, okay, good job, pat myself on the back, take a deep breath, and look at what I've accomplished, and then move on. So the danger of that, honestly, is that somewhere along the line, you stop finding joy in the accomplishments. That's the whole part of life, right? It's about the journey. So getting from point A to point B in the act of completing this goal. That's the whole thing about life. It's not what you buy from the store, it's the walk to the store and then browsing around, etc. So, okay, but for me, sometimes I get very, very caught up in we got this from the store. What are we going to go get next? We did this already. What are we going to do next? And that's an unsettled nature. This is what I'm learning. So this is all new for me, but just follow me on this one because this right now is the diary of a workaholic and how if you've never had anyone to depend on but yourself and of course God, but I'm saying if you've never had any human being, any physical person to depend on, someone that you can look to and say, "Hey, I need this. Can you get it for me?" And they say, "Sure, okay." Then you probably have this trait where you work so hard. You do, you figure it out, any means necessary. But somewhere along the way, that nature becomes really workaholic-y. And so instead of saying, wow, look, I did this, that's great. And I did it without anybody's help, all me, came up, that's all me. But now I'm going to move on because I've taken the appropriate time. We don't do it like that. Instead, it's just like, okay, I accomplished this, cool, move on. Accomplished this, cool, move on. And that's not healthy. Again, this is all stuff that I am literally just learning right now. So, what is the healthy and appropriate response for when you achieve your success? I think that the first thing we have to do, the first thing that I'm going to do moving forward is I'm going to look at that success and be proud of it. Put it down for a second because I've achieved the goal. I've done it. I marked those tasks off my list. Since it's all done, I'm going to relax and step away from it completely. Do something that's completely different so I can completely free myself from the burden of that success. See, here's the thing. I lived for years and years and years of my life with a thing called toxic success. Toxic success is when you are successful and you accomplish all these goals, but they're not really your goals. What I realized from that, or what I'm learning today, is that the goals that you have for yourself, when you accomplish those, it can still be toxic success if you put too much emphasis on accomplishing it. Like, I gotta have it, I gotta eat it, I gotta need it, do. It becomes too much weight to bear. So instead of feeling that way about the success, once you achieve that success, you set it down for a second. Now, I'm not saying because obviously we're working professionals, we have deadlines, etc. And sometimes those deadlines are long and drawn out, right? I've had deadlines that were, 6 months out, 3 months out. Next year, we know we need to be at this point. These are all deadlines. And you slowly but surely work to the expected outcome, but then it's just like, okay, move on to the next thing. What I'm saying now is whether the goal is short term or long term, once you achieve that success, you need to put it down for a second. And I'm not saying for long, I'm not saying for, years or whatever. I'm just saying put it down for a second and then go do something else so you can completely free your mind and actually free karma, free the universe up of the burden of that success because you've attained it, you've done it. Now it's time for the universe to step in and go ahead. Oh, I just thought of it. It's like you just baked the cake. Now, you baked the cake and you made it. So just go ahead and sit it on the table. It's up to the universe now to slice it up and divvy it to the places that it needs to go. Okay, now, what I'm saying is that once you step away from that success and you relax your mind and you're having an opportunity to think about the journey from here to there, what it took to get from, just looking at this task on a piece of paper as a list, a goal to be achieved, to completing the task. Once you sit and you think about that and you appreciate yourself, you marvel at how impressive you are, at how wonderfully you've done this thing, then you go back and take a look at it. Go back and take a look at it. Now you're looking at it with unexhausted eyes. Ooh, I just made that word up. I'm sure it's a word, but now you're looking at it with eyes that are fresh and eyes that are new. But I like that. I'm going to coin that, unexhausted eyes. Now you're looking at it from an unbiased perspective because you're not so focused on it, so ingrained in it, so, cemented to this idea. Because you walked away from it, now you can come back to it and you can evaluate it. You can see if there's anything that needs to be critiqued. You can see if there's anything that needs to be revised, or you can see that everything is perfect and you did it the way it's supposed to be done, and you can hit the submit button. See, workaholics, we have a tendency to not stop working. It's just like any other addiction or habit. It's just as disfiguring as nail biting. It's just as behavior altering as alcoholism. It's the same thing. It's just that we work all day. We work all the time. And when we're not working, somewhere along the lines, we feel guilty. And the reason why we feel that guilt is because inherently we're not happy with the inside of us. What's going on in there? We're not feeling gratitude for the fact that we have the ability to accomplish this goal or satisfy this need or do whatever this thing is. So instead of working hard from one thing to the next and jumping around with this workaholic disease, let's just try completing a goal and then stopping and thinking how wonderful it is that we have the ability to accomplish this. How wonderful it is that we have the knowledge and the skill set and the determination to see it through from point A to B to C to D to E to F, all the way to Z. We did everything that was needed to be done. Good job. Why not feel gratitude in yourself and your abilities, looking at the large scope of how wonderfully made you are? Because let's be honest, you had no hand in your creation. But what you did have a hand in is your continual development, your continuous trying to get to your goals, trying to be this success, determining and developing exactly who you are. It's like you were born, you had no say in that, but immediately after, everything else is up to you. Your growth, your development, your change, your structure. Not your foundation, but what you choose to do with your foundation. So, workaholic, here is what I want you to do. The next time you achieve that goal, you finish that project, you get that number of clients that you want, you close that deal, you start your podcast, you finish crocheting or knitting that scarf, you complete that choreography. The next time you do whatever it is that you need to do, I want you to stop. Remember, use the analogy of the cake. Now that you've baked this cake and it's wonderfully made, you've decorated it, and you consider it done, sit it down. It's up to the universe to slice it up. Take a deep breath. Feel gratitude for yourself. Feel the beauty and the accomplishments and how you were made. All of those things that you got from your foundational blessings. All of those lessons that you learned from your generational curses. All of those things put together made the you that finished this goal right here. Check it off the box. And then when you return to that project, return with fresh, unexhausted eyes so that you can see all of the wonderful things that you did, correct any minute little details or mistakes that may need to be fixed, and then finally hit that submit button. I'm rooting for you. And don't forget, I have a couple of other channels. The first one is Lead and Love Motivational, where all the motivational speeches from all of the teachers that I've learned from are. So please subscribe to that. And then I also have Quote Lead In as in Nishanta, Quote Lead In. That's where I have all my daily quotes. So every day, every single day, there's a new quote that comes out that pertains to you, me, the universe, God, and the like. Okay, everybody, let's get into it.